Welcome to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting right now, including cable TV companies are being forced to cut their price. We'll tell you which one cut their price first to compete with 5G home internet. Chromecast with Google TV is going to be able to play PlayStation 5 and 4 game streaming. We'll break that down. And lastly, well, there's more, but the last big story of the day, DirecTV and DirecTV Stream are starting to roll out that new user interface with some cool new features. We'll break down what you need to know about and a whole lot more. First though, if you want to learn more about these stories, I'll put a link to each story in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. You can read about them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, do me a big favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. We would really appreciate it. It really does help us. With that said, we're going to dive into the stories of the day, starting off with 5G home internet's been exploding, adding a lot more customers than cable companies have. And now cable companies have started to respond with some cheaper internet packages. Starting off with Cable One, Sparklight is what now known by since 2019, has internet service in 24 states, over 1 million customers. And they've announced that they're going to cut their 100 megabit down service down to $25 a month for the first year, and then $50 a month after that, to target 5G home internet. That's very similar pricing to what 5G home internet has. In an effort to try to pull customers back, it's going to start offering internet. Now the catch here is many 5G home internet customers report faster speeds than that in some areas. Your experience will vary, but that's very similar speeds to what T-Mobile, Verizon, and more claim will be their average internet speeds through their 5G home internet service. We'll see how it all plays out, but I've said this for years. Putting pressure on cable companies out there by having competition where they're not used to it. Yeah, maybe in the past they had DSL, but that was significantly slower. Or they had, for example, in select areas, fiber, but again, very few areas. Just 5 years ago, you were often very limited to one, maybe two internet providers. Now you have a whole bunch. If you don't have 5G available in your area, you're going to have Starlink, you're going to have smaller independent services, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T now all offer 5G home internet services. We'll see how this all plays out. While more cable companies be forced to lower their prices to be more competitive, when you've seen Verizon for their customers $35 a month for their 5G home internet. Yeah, maybe it's not the best for somebody who's a hardcore gamer, but most people aren't. Most people just want to check Facebook, send an email, watch a little Netflix, and for that, 5G is perfect for it. So we'll keep a close eye on this, but I'm great to see the competition. Yesterday, in our next story up, Chromecast with Google TV 4K, that specific model, can now start streaming games from PlayStation 4s and PlayStation 5s. Sony announced that they've updated their remote streaming capabilities to now support Android, including Google TV, or Chromecast with Google TV 4K. Now, not the HD version, it has to be the 4K version. With that, you'll be able to download the Sony app that will allow you to stream your games from your PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 to play them in other rooms without needing to move your game console around. You will need a compatible game controller for your device, but it's a pretty cool feature there that's going to allow you to play PlayStation games on your Google TV with Chromecast. So if you're a gamer, and that sounds interesting, maybe you want to consider the Google TV with Chromecast as your next streaming player. Check that out. All right, yesterday, when you're watching this, today when I'm recording it, DirecTV and DirecTV Stream is starting to roll out a new user interface. I already talked about this, but they got back to us with some details. It started September 13th, yesterday when you're watching this. We'll start rolling out through early 2024, include things like a new home screen, left-hand rail menu, more visually appearing home screen app collections, basically bringing other streaming apps to the front on their streaming players. Now this will start with AT&T owned streaming players and roll out over the next few months. They do say that no longer AT&T TV, DirecTV Stream customers will be able to also get some of these benefits on their own devices. So Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and more will also be getting updated, but no exact dates for when that will happen. It'll start rolling out in the future there. But DirecTV says this will be a major improvement on the graphical capabilities, the user interface, and how you interact with your TV to get it quickly. Anybody have it? Anybody get the update already? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right, next up, YouTube TV and YouTube now have more NFL Sunday Ticket subscribers than DirecTV did, according to the NFL. NFL told NBC Sports this week that YouTube TV, after a very surprisingly good week, a lot of people predicted that they would have technical issues. None of that happened. YouTube TV was able to stream NFL Sunday Ticket without issues. They now have more subscribers than DirecTV did when they ended their contract. Not surprising, you don't need DirecTV, you don't need to be a satellite company, you could be anybody. You don't even need YouTube TV, you can just get it through YouTube to subscribe to NFL Sunday Ticket. There's also been a lot of promos, but this is a great news for sports leagues have been considering, do we want to get into offering internet or our games through streaming services over the internet? You know, are they able to handle it? Will subscribers and viewers come to it? And according to NFL Sunday Ticket, it sure seems that way. With NBA rights coming up for negotiations, I would not be surprised after the success we've seen with the NFL that the NBA agrees to bring some of their streaming or content to maybe a couple games a year on Peacock or ESPN Plus or Amazon. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But huge success for YouTube TV and the team there. They did a great job on this. Kind of impressed, honestly, how well it went. All right, Spectrum earlier this week ended its blackout with with Disney. I apologize. That returned most Disney channels, but not 8 of them. 8 big ones are being permanently dropped. And many people have considered this a huge win for Spectrum. But what about the subscribers? According to Spectrum CFO that spoke yesterday, said the losses, people canceling Spectrum TV, was significantly lower than they expected. Very, very small impact on their broadband base. Basically saying we had very little negative outcome from this fight, and they feel like they got pretty much everything they wanted from Disney. Keep a close eye on this because many cable companies were watching very closely how this went with Spectrum, and that now that it seems to have gone so well, it will not surprise me at all to see Spectrum going out there and leading the way here, and that other companies will follow in their footsteps. DirecTV, they've kind of shown some interest in what Spectrum did, and more. Would not surprise me at all if these other cable companies are saying, hey, we're willing to go dark. We're willing to let Disney-owned channels go out in order to get fewer channels from Disney and get our customers free access to the Disney Plus app, ESPN app, and more. We'll see how this plays out, but mark my words, I think this will lead to more blackouts as other cable companies are looking not just at Disney, at others saying it's time for us to say, no, we're not going to carry all your channels. No, you're going to have to give us something. You don't have a blank check with us anymore. We'll see how that plays out. All right, Verizon 5G home internet and other services are going to be updated faster and be improved. Verizon's come out and said they've completed a massive network upgrade, which will allow them to virtually and very fastly update towers. What used to take months now with the new hardware and the new software on their towers to update them will now just take days or hours. In the past, where you had to take a tower offline, sometimes for a long period of time, to change the hardware and more, to bring new software and other hardware improvements to it, Verizon says these new towers that they've rolled out across their network can now virtually be updated with additional software or very quickly updated with hardware to prevent blackouts, prevent outages, improve 5G home internet, improve call quality, improve call drops to reduce the number of those, and more. In short here, Verizon's saying we've done all the hard work, and now going forward, we're going to be able to take advantage of our upgraded network to continue to improve our network without needing to take towers offline. That's pretty cool. We'll see how that works out, but Verizon's very confident in it. Speaking of 5G home internet, T-Mobile is working to improve their 5G service, including 5G home internet. They're going to spend $3.3 billion to buy more spectrum from Comcast to help it roll out its 5G service to more areas and improve its service overall. This will allow T-Mobile to offer 5G internet in more areas and to have better 5G service. With this deal, it needs to be approved by regulators, but in total, they're spending about $3.3 billion or up to $3.3 billion to improve its network by buying spectrum from Comcast that they were not using. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully soon, once this deal closes, they'll be able to roll that spectrum out. More spectrum means it can handle more traffic, it can cover more areas, and do more stuff to help it be able to handle the demand. All right, now I'm recording this as this testimony is happening, but the Fubo CEO is currently speaking, as I'm recording this, in front of Congress to ask Congress basically to tell the FCC not to reclassify them as cable TV. Cable TV has only been heavily regulated by the FCC. Streaming is regulated by the FCC, but to a lesser extent as a different form factor there. Local cable owners, ABC, CBS, Fox, and more, the independent owners want the FCC to reclassify YouTube TV and others as cable, because that allowed them to negotiate deals with those companies where currently those companies can go to Paramount and get access to all CBSs at once. Many locals don't like that and they're pushing back. Fubo TV CEO is there demanding that they don't accept that deal and that they keep streaming as an independent service not regulated by the FCC as a cable TV company. We'll see how that turns out. We'll have full coverage over at Cord Cutters News if you want to see all the comments and what they said. And lastly, Mohu, one of the leaders of indoor antennas, announced 3 new antennas. These are very graphically pleasing antennas. Now, they are a slight technical improvement, but the big selling point here is that they are more, they're like a gray fabric look, and they're meant to blend into more living rooms. To have an antenna in your living room next to your TV that doesn't look out of place. It looks like it fits in your living room and more. If you want to see those antennas and find them on Amazon, I have a link to it in our show notes. That's it for today. Have a great day. I'll be back again real soon.